Hello everyone, I'm Nikki Novak and welcome to Fandango's Big Ticket Now, bringing you what's hot, what's new, and what's next in the world of movies. Kicking us off with what's hot this week, and that is the biggest headlines coming out of the Toronto International Film Festival. Starting with one of the most popular movies to be featured during the 10-day event, the animated feature The Wild Robot, which is already getting wild Oscar buzz. It stars Lupita Nyong'o as Roz, the main robot, along with a voice cast that includes Pedro Pascal, Bill Nye, Mark Hamill, Catherine O'Hara, and Ving Rhames. Star-studded. The Wild Robot clearly struck a chord with the critics who saw it at TIFF, like Brian Tallarico from RogerEbert.com, who called it one of the best animated films of the decade. And Variety's Peter DeBruge said there's never been an animated movie that reflects the world in quite this way. Some very high praise for that robot. Some other highlights from TIFF include the dramedy Night Bitch, which stars Amy Adams as a depressed housewife at her worst moment and whose life takes a surreal turn, aka she assumes a dog's identity. We'll just leave you with that. And also the suspense thriller with Hugh Grant called Heretic. He plays the creepy and diabolical Mr. Reed, who welcomes two young missionaries into his home, where they end up in a deadly game of cat and mouse when they try to leave. Anything Hugh Grant is in, I am seated. On to what's new this week, and that is the action comedy film called The Killer's Game, starring Dave Bautista as a hitman who finds out he has a terminal illness and then tries to take a hit out on himself. The movie is based on the 1997 novel of the same name by Jay Bonansinga. Our big ticket movie of the week, and that is the psychological thriller Speak No Evil. It stars James McAvoy and Mackenzie Davis and follows a family whose dream vacation turns into an absolute nightmare instead. It's a remake of the 2022 Danish film of the same name, which is certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. You may remember James McAvoy's co-star Mackenzie Davis from movies like The Martian, Blade Runner 2049, and the dramedy Tully. So how is James able to create these iconic characters in movies? Well, we sat down with him and we asked him ourselves.
I was working with three incredible adult actors as well as two incredible child actors. Working with Scoot McNairy, Mackenzie Davis, and Aisling Franciosi, who played Kira, who's Paddy's wife. Really, the film, as much as I've got quite a showy role, this film survives on the ensemble. And so it was really important that we felt that we were in the same film and we're all pulling together to tell the same story and create this tension, because the whole film survives. It's really scary, it's really funny, but the whole film survives on this really taut, almost bow that is being pulled throughout the whole film until almost breaking point. And if one of us went off in a different direction, or one of us peaked or troughed, for that matter, at the wrong time, it would dissipate that tension. So it was a constant calibration, and that was down to our director as well, kind of making sure we were finely tuning as we went. But I've got to say, working with these three other actors, it was, the scene started to take on its own life and inform you what it wanted you to do, and that's a joy, because then you feel like the film's playing you ain't playing the film, you know.
You can find the full interview at Fandango.com, where you can also purchase tickets to Speak No Evil. Finally, this is what's next, and it's a bit of an unofficial theme for next week. That's because we'll be talking about movies like Transformers 1, an animated origin story with a stellar voice cast that breaks down the early relationship between Optimus Prime and Megatron. Wicked Part 1, the first of a two-part film adaptation of the stage musical Wicked, and follows the rise of the Wicked Witch of the West, plus her early friendship turned rivalry with Glinda the Good Witch. And don't forget about Mufasa the Lion King, a prequel of sorts that tells a story of two lions, Mufasa and Taka, who were once like brothers before becoming mortal enemies. We love a good theme, so which one are you most excited for? Let us know. Well, that's it for this week's Big Ticket Now, and don't forget, you can get your tickets to these movies at Fandango.com or on the Fandango app, and please follow us on all of the socials at Fandango. Thanks for watching, and I will see you at the movies.